MMA fortune teller.
The teller, the teller, the teller, the teller, the teller, the teller.
What is up, everybody? MMA live discussion starting up, and we're going to jump right into it, man. We got Mike Davis ready to go. So with no further ado, we got Mike Davis. How you doing, brother?
So close to me. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. I got the Miami Dolphins. They're about to be playing here tonight, so I started the show a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, man. How's everything with you?
2020.
Yeah.
Can't say good or bad.
Got you. Yeah, I saw you were supposed to be fighting over was it this weekend you said, or
yeah, I was supposed to fight. I was supposed to fight this weekend.
Who was that you were supposed to fight?
There were talks about me fighting this weekend, and
okay.
Since it's not happening, I was supposed to fight Tristan Connolly.
Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with that dude. Tough guy. He actually had a big win against I believe he took out that guy that has a lot of hype, Michel Pereira, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, but, I didn't see that. I didn't see that fight officially announced. So when I saw you say that, I was a little confused. I was wondering who you were going to be fighting.
So there were talks about getting it ready, and he got hurt before we even got contracts, and then I got hurt, so it was just null and void, I guess.
Gotcha.
And we're not allowed to say anything until it's official. Like, contracts are signed. Once contracts are signed, then we can start telling people that we have fights here and there. But until then, it's just quiet.
Gotcha, man. Makes sense. And I know you were scheduled to fight Giga, right? A couple times. I know that fell through. Is everything good on your side? I know I didn't really see exactly what happened. I saw there was some weight issues or whatnot. Is everything good with you?
On the May, I was supposed to fight him in May and February. And February, I had a big injury that I didn't heal from until April. And then once I healed, maybe like 2 weeks after, 2 or 3 weeks after, I got offered to fight him again in May. But at that time, I mean, it was COVID. I haven't trained since January. I put on quite a bit of weight. I was like 181.
Oh, wow.
And they offered me in 2 weeks, and I got my weight down, but my kidneys weren't having it. So
yeah, that's a tough weight cut right there.
I got pulled from the doctor. I didn't want. I was going to keep cutting. I just got pulled from the doctor.
Got you. And as far as moving forward, are we trying to stick with the featherweight division, or are you still messing around with the lightweight division as well?
I'm going to actually officially do a lightweight class. Just to see what it's like. I'm walking around now. I'm still lightest. I'm 170 right now, so I'm still light, but I'm still going to try and take a 155 fight. Nice. I feel good at 55, and if I don't have to cut weight, I mean, that's energy. I'll feel much better than my opponent. So I feel like that'll be a good idea.
Good stuff. Yeah, I had the pleasure of watching both of your last fights in the UFC. I was there live, and so I see you're down here in Fort Lauderdale, huh? You're just down the road from me. Cool stuff, man. I'm just north of you.
I'm in Las Olas.
Okay. Yeah, man. Fort Lauderdale is my old stomping grounds. My brother lives right there, right off of like Broward Boulevard and whatnot. And I was there every single weekend, having a good time. But things are a little different nowadays,
Too different.
Yeah, it's crazy. But so you're down at Fort Lauderdale. You're putting some time in over at American Top Team, I seen?
Yeah, that's my my head gym at the moment.
Cool. Over there in Creek, right? The Sunrise ATC?
Coconut Creek.
Got you.
I do want to start visiting Sunrise just to talk to Roger. I know he used to work with Coconut Creek as well, but apparently he's one of the best striking coaches you can get. So I kind of want to talk to him.
Good stuff. Yeah, I know they got some killers over there too. A lot of great fighters to work with down here. So, and originally you're from up north, correct? Up from New York?
I'm from New York. Yeah.
So what brought you down to Florida?
Oh, this was I think 7 years ago. I got invited to help Patricky and Patricio Pitbull with their fight camp at Team Noguera back when it was open in Orlando. So I came down, I helped them get ready, and then they went back to Brazil, and I just found a way to stay down here.
Are you able to train with those guys as of recently? Have you been able to train with those dudes?
I haven't trained with them since. I haven't seen them. Oh no, I did. They invited me to one of their fights in Connecticut maybe a few years back, and that's the last time I saw him.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of both of those guys, man. Those guys are
They're
great
super
fighters.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing their thing over in Bellator. I don't know if we'll ever see them come over to the UFC. I hope so. I would love to see them fighting some
I
of the
would
best
like
UFC
that.
fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I
Good
could see him
stuff.
in there.
I'm sure you learned a lot training with those guys.
I was young, so maybe not super young. I was like 20, but I was terrified to strike with them.
Yeah, I bet. And when you started training MMA, did you step right into full on MMA, or were you mostly training boxing or wrestling? Did you have like a background?
Originally I was training in boxing.
Okay.
So then after boxing, or while I was training boxing, I started wrestling at the same time. So I was just keeping busy, staying away from trouble, training boxing, training wrestling. And I didn't get into MMA until like 2 years after that, when I was like 16. And then from there, I grew. I didn't think I wanted to do the sport. I really didn't until my second pro fight. Okay. My first pro fight, I took on Richie Dens. He's from down here, down South Florida. And I beat him in the third round. I finished him in the third round. And that was kind of like my wake-up call, like, oh, I'm actually kind of good at this. And then my second fight, I've stopped him in the first round. And I felt confident, but I couldn't get any more fights. And that's what made it feel like I belonged here, because everyone was afraid to fight me. Like undefeated kids from CFFC and CES, nobody wanted to fight me. So it made me feel like I was actually like a threat. So I felt good.
Yeah, man. I remember. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it was bad because I couldn't fight. I literally couldn't fight for a year. Just the same as now. Can't fight. It's been a year. I can't fight.
Yeah, that's got to be tough, right? I can imagine. So going into the Dana White's Contender Series show, where to a lot of people, I mean, I feel like you really put your name came upon the map at that moment. You came into that fight as a giant favorite, and a lot of hype behind you. I know that fight didn't go your way, but that still was a very entertaining fight where you showed to have an amazing heart in that fight. I remember watching that fight. There was some back and forth moments. Of course, Sadiq is a great fighter, so no real shame in that loss. What was that whole experience like for you? Finally being in front of the boss, Dana, and being in that whole experience.
Being flown out to Vegas and then picked up in the limo and all that stuff, it was kind of surreal because I come from really nothing. So it was definitely something I wanted to get used to. And fighting in front of Dana White wasn't really a difference, because even no matter when you fight, you don't really look into the crowd or hear anybody in the crowd. Kind of forget that he's there watching. And when that was my first loss ever. I made a lot of changes after that fight. I left my gym, moved to a different gym, better training, better coaches, and just needed to improve. I wanted to become someone better, and I wasn't getting it where I was. And it was weird because when I got into that fight, I never study my opponents, ever. I've never studied a single opponent. I've never looked at what they do. But then I talked to him and his coach, Lloyd Irvin, right? I think
Lloyd Irvin. Yeah, Lloyd Irvin. Yeah.
I talked to him after the fight, and they were telling me how they studied me and broke all my fights down together, and how they could beat me because they knew it was going to be a tough fight. And I didn't have that. Like, none of my coaches sat me down, studied my guy, like forced me to sit there, because I personally won't do it. So I need someone who wants me to succeed like that. They want to sit me down, break it down, go over stuff. And that's kind of what I need. That's why I moved down here.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. And as far as my opinion goes, I think it goes a long way in, doing research on your opponent. I've heard some other fighters say that before too, where they really don't look into their opponent. It's just another body. I mean, I don't know who I am to say, but, I kind of disagree with that stance. I think you should definitely be doing some research, or at least the coaches should,
Yes,
definitely. So I feel you there for sure. And like you said, after that loss, you bounced back with 2 solid victories, right? Outside the UFC. Then you get
Yeah, I won the title for Island Fights for 155, and then I fought the Mexican national kickbox or Muay Thai champion.
Nice.
And then they gave
So,
me Gilbert.
Yeah, you got Gilbert. And did you take that Gilbert? You took that Gilbert fight on short notice as well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So I
did
mean, that's extremely
both
tough.
my fights in 5 days. I
Yeah.
believe. So
The Thomas Gifford fight too, man. I was right there, man. I was right outside the cage for that fight. I was sitting low, man. That was a nasty finish, man. That was
I was
a
happy.
brutal knockout. Yeah. How was that feeling, man? You get your first victory inside the UFC. What was that feeling like?
That was definitely a rush because, I mean, the biggest stage in the world, and now you have a victory, very first one. Well, kind of clears your doubts, makes you feel good. It really does.
Yeah.
I was happy to get the finish. I didn't care that there was a big controversy over him not stopping the fight. I just cared that he fell before the 15 seconds were over.
Yeah.
Because all my 8 wins are finishes, and I want to keep it that way.
Yeah, man, that's the way to do it, man. The fans love that type of stuff. Obviously, the UFC brass loves that stuff too. They usually reward fighters, that finish their fights, and of course, that's what it's all about, right? And so you get that knockout. It's been some time, since you've been in there now. I know a lot of people are waiting to see you get back in there.
Yeah.
I mean, do we have any idea moving forward when we might see you?
Man. So I was just I was thinking this over, and I feel like 2020, the universe speaks to you a lot. And I was thinking how every time that I'm ready to fight, every time that I feel good, and I tell Abe or my management that I'm ready for a fight, they look for somebody for me, and I get hurt every single time. It's an injury that I can't look past. It's bad injuries. So I was just thinking that maybe 2020 is my year for education, to learn, to kind of plot and prepare for 2021, where I can really step in and fight what's his name? I don't know, the guy who just fought 66 3 times in 66 days.
Khamzat Chimaev.
Yeah, you go.
Oh yeah.
I'll try that. I have to fight quick because I'm gonna get hurt. I train hard and I train a lot. I'm gonna get hurt.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. So, what do you think that is? The fact that you get hurt so often, is it maybe you're training too hard? What do you think that is?
I do have some underlying health issues that play a part, definitely a big part. But it is me also wearing my body down to the point where I don't recover very well. I also don't eat very well. I eat cereal and Pop-Tarts pretty much. So I can't eat a box of cereal and expect to have the proper nutrients to not get hurt.
Yeah, man. I hear you there. Sometimes it's hard though, right?
It's what I like. I don't get fat, so it's fine for me.
What kind of cereal are we talking? Anyways, we got to know, man.
Cinnamon Life and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Anything cinnamon.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
It's everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
But I can't eat a bowl. I have to eat a box of cereal. It's the whole box, one sitting. So if I open it, it has to be eaten.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
However, I talked to Phil Daru, my strength and conditioning coach, and everybody out there that I need proper nutrients so I can possibly stop getting hurt, and maybe it'll help. So now I eat planned diets, foods, greens. I get everything in, and I've been doing that maybe for 2 months. Just about. There's nothing. Haven't been doing it for too long. It's new, but I am making a difference. I feel a lot better. I just need to get those underlying health issues taken care of and looked at, maybe situated, so they'll stop coming up.
Gotcha. Now, I know you talked about you were training in Orlando, and I believe I saw you actually used to train with Mike Perry, huh? Mike Platinum Perry quite a bit. Yeah, man. What was that like, man, training with him? I'm not sure if you still do train with him here and there, but how was that?
He did move down here, but he's all the way down south in Miami with Yoel Romero. But I don't know if that's specifically what he went down. He did specifically come down here for him, but for the training that he needs, he should really come to Coconut Creek.
Yeah.
There's just the bodies at Coconut Creek that are all at the level he's at or higher. He needs it. He has one person, Yo Romero.
Yeah,
But
man. Yeah. I hear you
we
there
used to
too.
train together a lot. I haven't trained with him in a long time, but possibly we'll be able to in the future. He does come up here to my area with Spartan, Alex Nicholson.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all good friends, so I'll probably jump in one of their sessions.
Cool. Yeah, those
day.
guys are excellent fighters, man. Those guys are savages too, man. All three of you guys. That's it's good bodies to work with for sure. And I guess Perry has a big fight coming up too, huh? It looks like he's going to be fighting Lawler.
Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, Robbie Lawler. Yeah, man. I'm excited for that. Yeah. Any crazy Mike Perry stories, man? Something funny?
No, I don't have any. Just tend to that whole like outside of the gym life isn't me. I'm just there. We're friends in the gym. I don't really go out.
You know, I saw an interesting story. I saw you mention that, before you actually got into MMA or before you started training, you kind of were at a point in your life, kind of at a crossroads where you were hanging out with some kids and they kind of went down the wrong path, huh? And you were lucky enough to avoid.
Yeah, that's kind of why I don't go out anymore.
Yeah,
that story. Like, I was 16. I just started training MMA. Maybe like 3 months in, and I had to go train one night. And that night, my friends wanted me to come over and hang out so we could all do. I'm pretty sure it's salvia. It was like synthetic marijuana.
Yeah. I did salvia one time when I was in high school, so I kind of have a little background on it. I did it once, and you basically leave. You're not yourself for about 30 seconds to a minute. And I thought I was in the back of a train for a second, and all of a sudden you come to and you're like, holy crap, what the hell just happened? And you kind of lose your sense of gravity, and whatnot. It's a weird thing. Yeah, it's a weird thing.
They were doing salvia and drinking, and then they wanted me to come over so I can hang out and obviously do this with them. Mm-hmm. I decided not to, so I can go train. That night, they kind of got a little too messed up. They invited some other kid over who just kind of got them out of the house. So while they were out of the house, they actually started robbing people. Armed robbery. They tied a guy up to a chair at, I believe, a hotel. And then after that, all of them got 8 years in jail.
Wow.
Yeah, I would still be in jail.
I know, that's crazy, huh? Because even if you really weren't even fully a part of it, I mean, just hanging with them, right? Just being around them while they were doing that. I mean, you're guilty by association, which is crazy.
Exactly.
You know? So,
100%. I would have at least been in the car, like hanging out or waiting outside or something.
Oh yeah, man. One of my best friends, he got arrested for attempted murder for literally, just hopping in the car with his boys. He wanted to get out of the car. And next thing you know, these kids are robbing some kid, and the kid tried to hang on the side of the car and he got ran over. And one of my best friends got charged with attempted murder who didn't even want to be there. So, I mean, really just, to go on about your point, I mean, just hanging with the wrong crowd, man, can completely ruin your life, man. But what a blessing that you were able to get away,
Of course. That's why I kind of kept pursuing mixed martial arts. Even though I didn't think I was going to be good at it, it was something that changed my life. It saved my life. So I thought maybe I would at least give it a shot, get back to it.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. And now it's to the point where I can help my mom, and that means a lot to me. So
yeah, that's definitely what it's all about right there. You're 27 years old. When you look at, the big picture in the MMA world, I mean, what is the end goal for you? Do you want to have a career that people look back at and say, wow, Mike Davis was just in there throwing down, putting on entertaining fights? Or is the end goal, you want to put gold around your waist? You want to strap that belt across your waist? I mean, what do you think about when you think about your career? What's the end goal?
I want to leave knowing that I made a big difference in not just my life, but everyone else's life. And my story behind it is what I want people to pay attention to. How I came from literally nothing to making the championship. I definitely would love to have gold around my waist. Growing up, I mean, as an amateur, I have 5 amateur titles and a pro title. So definitely want one more pro title to add to my collection, and
Yeah.
for it to be the UFC belt, that would be like a blessing. That's definitely the end goal.
That's good stuff, man. Yeah, man. No, I definitely respect that a lot. And I love, just the background, coming from, a tough position, working your way to the top, man. I definitely respect it. And, I'm all for it, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you back in there for sure.
Me too. I'm going to try. I'm going to
Go
try
ahead.
and get healthy, and I will fight by the end of the year. I will fight.
Okay. So we're working with what? We got about 2 months or so, 2 months and a week. So we got some
I
time.
would anywhere October 31st and after. I'm there.
Okay.
Give me like 2 weeks to heal. Give me 2 weeks to train, and I'm ready to go.
Is there anyone in particular you're looking to fight, or it just doesn't even matter?
It doesn't matter. Just someone that makes sense. I'm an entry-level fighter. I've had 2 fights. I get paid entry-level money. Don't try to make me fight someone who's getting paid 6 times my amount, because that's bullshit, and I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. I hear you there. All right, I got a couple of quick questions for you. Let's see. We got some questions from the fans. Who is your favorite fighter?
Mighty Mouse. His
Mighty
lifestyle
Mouse.
in the cage and outside of the cage, as a fighter, he is just someone that has everything put together. He's a gamer. He likes anime. He's a great fighter. He's probably one of the more creative fighters as well, doing the back take suplex to armbar. I mean,
Oh yeah.
nobody else has done that. So he's definitely one of the creative fighters. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a good choice right there, man. I'm a big fan of his as well. It's funny, man. Watching him fight, it's almost like watching like a video game. The way he moves, it's ridiculous, man. Dude's so talented. And let's
my
see what else
teammate
we
is
got.
fighting him actually.
Oh yeah, over in ONE FC.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Andres. I don't remember his name.
Yeah. I'm not familiar. I have to look.
It's his next fight. Whoever Mighty Mouse is fighting next, it's it.
All right. Someone asked, do you still train at Tiger at all? I don't know if they're talking about Tiger Schulman or Tiger Muay Thai. I don't know.
I was a Tiger Muay Thai, and I will go back as soon as I can. Right now, I mean, I haven't fought in a year. I'm kind of just surviving at the moment. Once I fight again, I'll definitely have all the finances and everything put away, money aside. My stuff, I can store my stuff so I can head over there. Definitely stay there for a while. The lifestyle out in Tiger Muay Thai is beyond incredible. It's definitely, I recommend everyone to go out there and try it.
Yeah, man. I've seen some videos of the facility and what goes on out there. It looks amazing.
It's huge.
So,
it's enormous.
That's awesome.
The coaches are really good too.
Yeah. Tony says, what belt is Mike and BJJ, and what is your favorite submission?
So I'm going to continue to say that I'm a white belt. I'm not a white belt. All right. I'll tell the truth. I am a purple belt in BJJ. My favorite submission. What's something I get a lot? I'm very flexible, so it's easy for me to throw triangles from almost any position. So I'm going to say a triangle.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. That's probably my favorite submission too, man. Yeah. All right, I got some quick questions for you. These you could answer just with one word and just quick answers. A dream matchup for yourself.
Dream matchup. Max Holloway.
Okay. Warm or cold weather?
Definitely warm. Hate the cold.
Knockout or submission?
After the BJJ fans, I'm a big BJJ person, but I strike a lot, so let's go knockout.
Knockout. Best lightweight of all time?
It's obviously Khabib.
Khabib. Yeah.
Khabib. It's obvious. I mean, he's taken out the whole roster.
Yeah, I agree with you, Khabib, man. Yep. And a favorite cheat meal? I think we already heard it was the cereal.
Probably cereal.
Cinnamon
and the worst thing, I put sugar on my cereal too. Yeah,
put sugar on your sugar.
I will put sugar on my sugar. And it's
Oh,
not
I see.
enough, so I'll end up eating the candy afterwards or something. I'm a terrible
Damn.
influence to nutrition.
Favorite knockout you've ever seen?
I don't know. Edson's spinning kick.
Yeah, that's a good one right there. I get that a lot. And then the best fight you've ever seen. Last one.
Robbie Lawler's?
Yeah, right. Almost any of his, but I'm sure what
Yeah.
the Rory and Robbie fights.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of really, really good fights. So, but that one is just one that you have an image in mind because of the split lip and the busted up. Both of them were all busted up. So that was definitely. And was that fight of the year?
Yeah, I don't know if it was fight of the year. Maybe it was. It definitely had to have been up there. It's definitely one of the best fights I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, I wanted to see that fight go to the very end. I think Rory was slightly up on the scorecards, but I believe he had a broken orbital bone, and Robbie Lawler was just digging so deep in that fight, man. And I believe that fight was right before McGregor against Diaz when he lost the first time, I believe. I forget. I think it was.
I don't know why people didn't exploit that more often. You obviously know that Conor can't grapple. Why just grapple that man?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and that was
Everyone
weird.
who fought him would just try to strike with him. Just grapple that man.
But what was weird about that fight was that Diaz actually rocked him on the feet before it even
He
went
did.
down to the mat. You know,
Yeah.
tagged him. Yeah, that was crazy. Let's see. A couple more questions. I won't keep you too long.
Keep going. No, you can keep
All
going.
right, cool. These are some questions from the fans. Did you feel bad being able to hit Gifford so easily?
No, definitely not. Gifford came in as a boxer and a grappler, and he also didn't stick to what his coaches were saying because I could hear his coaches, and I learned almost instantly what blend to Denver meant, and they kept saying it over and over again, which just means take me down. But he didn't listen. I didn't feel bad that you don't want to listen to your coaches. Your coaches can see things that you can't in that fight. So I always listen to my coaches.
What do you think it was? Like just being a professional fighter, what do you think it was the reason why he wasn't listening to them? Do you think he was scared of a counter shot, shooting in or something? Why do you think he wasn't listening?
He was trying to do that Imanari roll, which is very slow. And the only way for you to get it is to actually dive at my foot, not sit down. Because he was just sitting down, it's slow. I can see it. I see it before you sit down. So
yeah.
I don't know. I guess when those failed, he figured he couldn't get me to the ground. And then he shot at me and he still couldn't get me to the ground. So I think he just abandoned that idea.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a tough one, man. He really took a beating in there. I know I saw an interview with him after that fight, and he said that he was he didn't expect the fight to be stopped at all. I mean, he was a very, very tough customer. I know he has some talented BJJ as well. But yeah, man, you heard him bad there, man. That was an excellent performance by you.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Another question for you. Can you give advice on breathing techniques when taking a body shot mid-fight?
Embrace it. Don't try to suck in so it misses. Just push out your abs and just take it. Boom. That's the only way you're going to take that body shot. If you try to absorb that shot, you are going to feel every bit of it. Like try to or take it in. You have to meet it with power.
There you go, man. So when Cayman Rider, when you get hit in the solar plexus or hit with the liver shot, now you know what to do, man. And then the last one, man, I won't keep you too long. Last question for you. Who is the most, let's see, where is it? The most overrated fighter in mixed martial arts?
Overrated as in bad?
I guess just like
people just hype him up too much?
Yeah, too hyped up. You know what I mean? He's not he can still be a good, solid fighter, but maybe he's overhyped. People think he's this
Henry Cejudo.
Okay.
I don't like Henry Cejudo.
Yeah. The king of cringe.
Yes, that's the only reason I don't like him is because he's so cringy.
Yeah.
He should just stop trying for the camera. Just be you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Some guys, actually, I want to get your thoughts upon this real quick too, man, because I do see like the mindset as far as, you know, talking crap and hyping yourself up. I mean, you could see a direct correlation to making more money and getting bigger fights. And I understand, you know, I get fighters on here every week and I ask them that question. And for the most part, like 95% of the fighters say they don't like it. And, you know, it's not something that they want to do. Sometimes I'll be honest, it's terrible, but financially, I mean, I guess you don't always want to do stuff for money, but seeing that money on the table, you know, sometimes, you know, maybe like you said, man, you're going through tough times and you could use that money to support your mom or your family.
Yeah.
Does it ever cross your mind, maybe just to talk a little bit of crap, get a fight everyone wants to see, get that extra viewership?
But that's not going to do anything for me. Yeah, I get it. You see it as a fan. You're like, oh, they're talking crap. This fight's hyped up. But in the background, I still only have 2 fights. No matter how much crap I talk, I'm still getting paid base pay. Doesn't matter who I fight. What matters is taking fights. What's his name again?
Khamzat Chimaev.
Yes. Okay. He barely talks. Do you notice that when he does his interviews? I smashed him. That's it.
Yeah,
That's his That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah.
But he fights and he wins. That's why he's getting fights. All you can do to boost your pay or anything is just say you're the best. Speak to yourself. I'm the best. No one can beat me. I'm the best. No one can beat me. Let people come to you, beat them, and that's how you grow.
Yeah.
That's what Conor McGregor just believed that he was invincible, and everyone would badmouth him to get to his spot. He didn't have to do anything. But when people would badmouth him, he'd badmouth back. And that's where you got those little squirrels from.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right about that too. I mean, Conor did take a lot of fights. A lot of people underestimate that. I mean, he was jumping in there, taking fights.
Yeah. He was
active. It's a good way to look at it. You know, you got any parting words for the fans? You want to let everybody know where they can follow you on Instagram, Twitter, anything, you know, wherever you're at, social media? You want to shout out any sponsors?
There's so many that go through. I would have to have it planned out. But all my handles are Mike Davis MMA until I can figure out a way to change them to Mike Davis UFC. But at the moment, they're Mike Davis MMA.
Good.
Yeah, I would like to give a shout out to a couple. Definitely Mingo Wear. There's Mingo Apparel, to be honest. Correct. Then you have Wicked Cuts Barbershop. They have been with me since my pro debut. Really helped me out. They're here up in Daytona for people who are looking for them. Just got sponsored by Free Train, which is a little vest that holds my phone so I don't have to hold it in my hands. I just got that in the mail, so I'm going to go get that after this.
Nice.
And Still Nutrition and Proper Nutrition. They're up in the coast. They help me a lot with my supplements. I have supplements with actually my face on them. All my little pictures from my fights. So pretty cool.
Cool.
I can say that's about it for now. Those are the people. There you go. Vital Minds Premium CBD. So I just met them not even a month ago, and they have been supplying me with everything. So they are incredible. They have been helping me a lot with my recovery. So big shout out to them.
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. Got to check those products out, man. One in particular that actually sounds pretty interesting to me was what was the one you said where you the free where you could go jogging with your phone or whatever, and it goes
Free Train.
Free Train, man. That sounds like some cool stuff there.
Free Train. So
I'll be looking that up.
Yeah,
I go jogging, man, and some of my gym shorts, man, my phone's flipping out of my pants. It falls out of my pocket sometimes.
So
my pants.
It's just this little. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little vest. Come on, there you go.
Yeah.
A little vest that you just put on and hold your phone. It flips down so you can text on it, change your music, and then clip it right back up and jog.
I like it.
So I just got that. I'm kind of excited to try that out.
Good stuff, man.
Whenever I can run again, my body isn't the best.
Yeah. Well, I hope you feel better, man. I hope you feel better. I hope it all heals up for you, man. And I hope we see you in there soon, man. I'm excited to see you in there.
I want to shoot for October 30th, which is Halloween. That's when the UFC makes its return to Vegas. It'll be a Halloween night or any day after.
Okay.
But I want to shoot for Halloween because that'll be fun.
That's a solid card there too. I'm trying to remember exactly who's in that card. I know it's a big card though, that Halloween card. So that'd be awesome to see you on that fight card.
Either way, man, I just want to fight again.
Yeah.
I want to fight again. I'm so bored.
Yeah, man. I hear you. Well, I'm crossing my fingers for you, man. So October 31st or after that, and it will be in the lightweight division. That's correct, right? In the lightweight division. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I think I'm gonna take a break from featherweight.
Yeah.
I am still able to make featherweight. I just need to. I want to take a fight at 55, just see what it feels like. If I feel better, that'd be great. But again, I'm kind of like average size for a 55er, but I am top for a 45er.
Yeah.
It doesn't really get much bigger than I am. I'm 6 feet tall and I'm massive for 45. And I walk around at 170. This is out of shape. This is me. I just got done eating cereal.
Yeah.
So in shape, in camp, I'm walking around like 163.
All right. Yeah, I mean, we see it, I mean, I get it. I get having the size. It definitely helps. But, I mean, you see it, week to week. You see some of these guys going out there. Like even, for example, Khamzat Chimaev. We talked about him a couple of times. I know he bounces back and forth from welterweight and middleweight. He was definitely undersized against Gerald Meerschaert. But you saw the speed difference, man.
Oh, yeah.
He went in there and, sometimes size isn't everything. So if you feel good, you feel good and you feel strong and you're quick in there.
I am a fast action person.
Yeah.
I definitely move I move a lot faster than the people I spar against and I fight against. I've noticed an insane speed difference.
Yeah. And what about Frankie Edgar? Frankie Edgar in the lightweight division. I mean, this guy held the belt for a while and he didn't cut any weight. He was walking around at like 155. Crazy, man.
Probably better for him.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. And then now what? Frankie's fighting at the bantamweight division, He went down to featherweight. And now he's in the bantamweight division. It's crazy, man. But so yeah, man, you could do whatever you want, man. Whatever you put your mind towards, you know as good as anybody. So,
of course,
yeah. So yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on, and I would love to have you on anytime you want, man. Anytime you want to come on, if there's anything you want to announce, you have an open invitation here. So awesome. I really appreciate you, man.
I definitely look forward to doing this again after or before a fight that is scheduled.
All right,
let's do that.
Good. All right, thanks again, man.
Of course.
Mike Beast Boy Davis, man. All right. That was cool, man. Mike Davis. So that'd be good, man. If we get to see him in there. He said that he's ready to go October 31st or anytime after that. Hopefully we'll see him in there at least by the end of the year. So really cool dude. And again, a lot of you guys are probably familiar with him from Dana White's Contender Series. He had a very entertaining fight there against Sodiq Yusuff, one of the top guys in the featherweight division. That fight, he showed he has amazing heart in that fight. He went back, won 2 fights after that fight. Then he did take a short notice fight with Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is one of the best fighters, in the lightweight division, period. That was a tough fight for him, taking that fight on short notice. Then he takes another short notice fight against Thomas Gifford, and he absolutely destroyed Gifford there. So, he's coming off a very impressive victory, and I can't wait to see who they match him up with. He did have 2 scheduled bouts against Giga Chikazi that were canceled. And, he kind of touched upon, he's got some things going on, but I'm very interested to see who they match him up with next. And let's get to some of your guys' comments, man. Hopefully Paulo Costa moves up too. He seemed undersized against Jan and Reyes in the conference, though. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, let's see how he looks at the official weigh-in, and this will be the first time he's ever actually hitting 185 on the dot, championship weight. I think that this weekend will be it will definitely be a big showing of if he's going to hang around in this division. But I don't see any reason in the meantime why he can't. I mean, he's been going out there winning fight after fight. So, and again, look at the size of Dominic Reyes. In particularly, that dude is a beast. So, you gotta, picture him against these guys that are way taller, that have a way bigger reach advantage, and the light heavyweight division is no joke. Personally, I even think that Paulo Costa can even lose a little bit of muscle mass. I think he can cut down on the weights, and if he wanted to, just lose a little bit of muscle, I don't see why that. I don't see why he would have any issue staying in the division, in my opinion. Andrea Monzo, you are the best. Next UFC champ. In regards to Mike Davis, man. Yeah, Mike Davis has a lot of potential. Hell yeah, Teller. Awesome interview. Thank you, Daniel. Teller, do you think Shane Burgos may be a future title contender? I think that he definitely has potential to be. I mean, he's extremely talented. He's ferocious on the feet, has nasty, nasty striking, underrated wrestling as well, can stuff a takedown with the best of them so he can keep the fight standing. Does have an interesting striking style, though. He does keep his hands very low. I've seen him susceptible to being tagged on the feet. I do believe that he has his own type of striking. I don't know if it's kind of like traditional martial arts based, but I personally would like to see him keep his hands up a little higher and more closer to his chin to protect himself against some of the top guys in the division that are going to be throwing some nasty haymakers, man. That got some really crisp striking. I think he does have potential, but that division is so stacked. Right now, you got Piotr Jan up there. Piotr Jan's in the bantamweight division. Burgos is in the featherweight division. In the featherweight division, you got Volkanovski, Max Holloway. You got Yair Rodriguez. You got Zabit. I mean, you got some killers up there. How can I forget about one of the guys that actually took out Shane Burgos, Calvin Kattar, who I believe Calvin Kattar just got thrown in the UFC game, UFC 4. For those of you guys that play that game, I believe that he just got thrown in the game. Knight versus Kamer, Jonathan Lee says. It's a good fight, man. It's a really good fight. That guy Knight is coming off a very impressive knockout in Dana White's Contender Series. I do believe those elbows were a little bit illegal, but it doesn't matter. The power is there. You saw the elbows that he dropped against the cage, as his opponent was trying to take him down. Kamer is a guy that's trained extensively with Stipe Miocic. I think that Kamer will have the striking advantage. I think he'll be a little bit more smooth on the feet. He'll have better footwork. I was not overly impressed with Knight's striking abilities as far as just straight up, in the middle of the octagon striking. I think that Knight is the type of guy that really shines when the fight turns into a dog fight. And, you start to see Knight in these grappling exchanges where he ends up, reversing or getting on top. And then he really drops his power on his opponents and he smashes them out. But Knight is a dangerous opponent, but I like Kamer, man. I'm taking Kamer. Sanchez being Sanchez, man, that's for sure. Sanchez has been saying some crazy things. Sanchez has been taking ayahuasca and stuff very recently. So he's been living the life. And you got to wonder, how is he going to perform against a guy that's, completely involved in the MMA game, a guy that's really reaching for the stars. He's trying to be a champion. And Jake Matthews is a beast. And, I think it's going to be an extremely rough night for Diego Sanchez. Obviously, the line shows that a lot of people agree with me on that. I mean, Matthews is right around a minus 750. So, I don't know, man. This might be towards the end of the road for Sanchez. I heard Sanchez saying that he wants to win 3 more fights and then he wants to get a matchup with Conor McGregor. So, it's pretty funny. I'm really looking for Davis next. Looking forward to Davis's next fight, man, for sure. When do you think Khamzat Chimaev should pump the brakes a bit? I don't think that he should pump the brakes at all. I'm a big believer. I've been on record already, and I was saying it again today on Instagram. I'm a big believer in this guy, Khamzat. I think that he should push forward all the way to a title shot early in 2021. I think that he's going to win his next fight. And of course, he still has to go out there and do it, but he needs to go win his next fight to end the year. Maybe we're talking about another big win. And don't be surprised if he's right in the mix for a title shot because he's already getting a main event spot against a top 15 fighter. If he goes out there and smashes him, like a lot of us do believe that he can go out there and do to almost everybody in the top 15. I mean, once you start getting to the top 5, I think then we're talking about having some more competitive fights. But I'm a believer in Khamzat. I just am. I like what I see from the guy, and I'm buying in. I'm buying in now. I don't need to wait and see what happens with the guy. I'm buying in now. I'm not going to say that he's going to take out, the top fighters in the world necessarily. I'm not going to say he's going to take out Usman. He's going to take out Colby. I mean, those guys are very skilled fighters. But and then also in the middleweight division, Izzy and Costa. We got to see how that plays out. But I'm not going to say he's going to go out there and take those guys out easily. They're going to be competitive fights. But that's the whole thing. I think they will be competitive right now. I think if you throw Khamzat in there, I think the guy can hold his own. I do think that we need to see how he performs late in fights, how his cardio looks. But from everything I've heard about the guy in the gym and whatnot, supposedly he has really good cardio. The guy is supposed to be a workhorse, and I believe it. I kind of buy it. So I'm on the train, man. I don't think he needs to pump the brakes. Book it up. He wants to fight, peak early, smash, take money. Who do you think Khamzat should fight next? So I honestly would like to see the Damian Maia fight, even though I think that might not even be that much of a competitive fight, because I think that now we've seen that Khamzat actually has striking as well. And Damian Maia, he's not the best of strikers. He's extremely tough, but I think that Khamzat would be able to stuff the takedowns and probably hurt him on the feet early, like we've seen, a lot of people do to Maia. I would love to see the grappling exchanges between Maia and Khamzat. But as far as who I would like to see him fight, one thing I've been trying to see, is he going to be fighting in the middleweight division or the welterweight division? Has anybody been able to find that out? Because I need to get some clarity on that. I do not believe they have announced if he's going to be fighting in the welterweight or middleweight division for his next fight. If somebody knows that, please comment. I'm going to pull up the rankings real quick. And you guys can see you can see basically the top 8. I'll even scroll down for you so you can see 9. You can see the top 9 guys in the welterweight and middleweight divisions. I mean, who I would like to see him fight? I would actually like to see him fight. Let me take a look. I'll tell you for both divisions. If he's going to fight again in the middleweight division, coming off that big win in the middleweight division, taking out Gerald Mearshart, Chris Weidman, I don't even want to see that. Don't put Chris through that. I know Chris just had a big win. Don't put Chris Weidman through that. Kelvin Gastelum, I think that would be a nice fight, man. Kelvin Gastelum would be a nice. I know Kelvin's coming off a loss. That fight ended pretty weird, right? He got submitted early, made a mental error in there. Darren Till is a solid opponent that I think they would match up. They would match up good together. Both those guys are like hybrid middleweights, right? Welterweight, middleweight fighters. That would be a fight I wouldn't mind to see. And I would say one of those guys, I think, before you're going to get into the top 5. So yeah, maybe like a Darren Till or a Kelvin Gastelum in the middleweight division. As far as the welterweight division goes, he was already talked to be fighting Damian Maia. Maybe that fight goes through. Stephen Thompson and Leon Edwards are in talks right now. Masvidal is supposed to be fighting Nate Diaz. So I think as far as the welterweight division goes, it's going to be somebody like Damian Maia or I'm not sure if Chiesa has a fight lined up, something like that. But I don't know if that's the route they're going to go. I hope he stays in the middleweight division and gets a big name fight. I want to see a big name opponent, a Darren Till, a Kelvin Gastelum, or a Derek Brunson. How about a Derek Brunson fight? That's the fight I want to see. That is the fight I want to see. Derek Brunson's coming off an amazing victory where he shocked everybody. Derek Brunson versus Khamzat Chimaev. And, Derek Brunson's already stole one top prospect's thunder. Throw him in there again and see what he does, because Brunson's been looking amazing. The way he looked in that fight against, what's his name? The name slipping my mind. The Edmund Shabazian fight. Khamzat is calling out Wonder Boy. I think Wonder Boy is supposed to be fighting Leon Edwards. They're really he just called out Wonder Boy just called out Leon Edwards. I think that's the fight that needs to be pushed forward. Masvidal versus Chimaev. Yeah, man, I'm favoring the Brunson fight. That's the route I'm going. Now, we can let's touch upon this the fight card taking place this weekend. We'll see some thoughts about things that might have changed since the prediction video. Let's take a quick look. And interestingly enough, this fight card really hasn't changed much, right? We've been pretty lucky with this fight card. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. Remember, as of recently, we've been seeing a lot of fights canceled and whatnot, and that really hasn't been the case. We got the Cadiz Ibragimov fight versus Danilo Marquez. We talked about that earlier. This guy Danilo is a BJJ specialist that looks very sloppy on the feet. Guy hasn't had a professional fight in a long time. At least Cadiz, he was just in there, although he did get knocked out. But he was just in there, and I like Cadiz there, man. He's young. The Espino versus Jeff Hughes fight. We talked about that. Espino's been outside the octagon for a long time, but has very high caliber wrestling skills. The William Knight versus Kmart. We just talked about that. I think Kmart is going to have a little bit of an edge as far as the striking goes if he can keep the fight in the middle of the octagon. He doesn't want to make it a grueling brawl where they're hanging on each other and they're reversing each other with grappling and whatnot. That's definitely not the way that he wants to go, because that's really where Knight has shined. And Knight, if you take a look at Knight's one professional loss, it was against that guy we just saw a fight in the main event of Dana White's Contender Series, who was a nasty kickboxer, and the stoppage was actually controversial. So Knight is a stud. He's a guy that's been learning on the job too, man. 32 years old, and he's learning on the job. He has a good amount of fights, but still, this is a guy that's really going to hit his peak when he's like 34, 35. Got in the game a little bit late. Derek Brunson versus Kimaev is the fight to make. Brunson loves spoiling those parties for sure, bro. That's the way I'm going too. Conor return fight is Khamzat. No way that the UFC ever puts that fight together. It's a horrible stylistic match for Conor, and I think Conor knows better than to touch that fight. I say Shabazian for middle or Luque at welter for Khamzat. Okay. Well, Shabazian's coming off that tough loss. I don't know if they throw him back in there with a guy like that. And Shabazian's young. I think they need to pump the brakes on Shabazian. We talked earlier about pumping the brakes on somebody. Edmund Shabazian's the guy that needs to have the brakes pumped, because he's coming off a beating, and I don't think the UFC would do that to him personally. The Luque fight, I would love to see the Luque fight. Luque's the guy that brings it every time. I'm completely good with that. Adesanya, Riddle, Khabib is my parlay. Okay. The Reyes fight is definitely 5 rounds. It's for the championship, man. Yep. So we'll see how that cardio holds up in the later rounds. Reyes has been putting in work over in Colorado, so expect his cardio to be pretty good out there. I have a feeling William Knight is going to knock him out first round. Definitely possible. He has that type of power, man. If they start going at it, it could definitely stop the fight. Yep. Tafon and Shukwi. Dude is a beast. If you guys don't know about him and you didn't see that Dana White's Contender Series show, you will know about him very soon. The UFC did sign him, and this is a guy that is nasty on the feet. Nasty heavyweight edition. A lot of people been on Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval taking the W here, and at plus 200, I think that's a steal. A lot of people have been liking Brandon Royval. Dude looks very talented, man. Great submission skills. Very well-rounded fighter. I like him. O'Malley, huh? Talking about pumping the brakes. Talking about O'Malley, huh? O'Malley needs to pump brakes. He's a scrub. Yeah, I mean, the thing with O'Malley, I will say, is that he didn't really go out there and get beat down or nothing like that. He injured himself. I mean, he did eventually. Yeah, he did get beat down, but he injured himself first, in my opinion. If he didn't get hurt in that fight, I would have loved to have seen how that fight would have played out. Whereas Edmund Shabazian just straight up gassed out and got beat down. In my opinion, he got styled on. So, but O'Malley can pump the brakes as well. I'm with you there, A. Miller. Miller also calling the Reyes KO. Nobody like France. Everyone's saying Royval. I got Kai. Yeah, man. Like I said, I've seen a lot of people on Royval as of recently. It seems like everybody's on Royval. I mean, Kai Kara France is a guy, doesn't have a lot of big victories on his resume, but is a guy that continuously wins fights. He has a lot of professional fights. I mean, look at that. He has 29 professional fights compared to Brandon's 15 professional fights. Kai Kara France, he's coming in with an excellent fight camp. Being that all his teammates are all fighting on this card, usually these guys do pretty good when they all fight together. But Brandon Royval is definitely a guy that's capable. I like the kid, so I'm interested in that fight. I really want to see how that fight plays out. Can Overeem run for the title again? How much punishment can he withstand with his turtle shell in the top 5? I think that Overeem can definitely make a run for the title. I think that he's right there. I mean, how many fights is he away from fighting for the title? I don't have the rankings up here right now. Actually, I got to pull up the rankings again now. Yeah, right here. So speaking of, okay, Alistair Overeem is ranked number 5. Derek Lewis has a fight already booked with Curtis Blades. You got Jairzinho Rosenstruck and, Francis Ngannou is the number 1 contender who should be fighting Stipe again. Alistair Overeem, in my opinion, is 1 fight away from being right there for a title shot. Maybe you give Alistair Overeem, let's see. He's already fought Jairzinho. I don't know if you run that back at all. I would like to see if Derek Lewis takes out Curtis Blades, which I'm not saying it's going to happen, but maybe let's just say hypothetically that happens. I would love to see Overeem versus Derek Lewis, and then I would say Overeem would be next in line for a title shot. And to touch upon your point, I don't see Overeem necessarily winning the belt. I tend to agree with you that turtle shell style, it's not going to last, and especially as you get towards the top of the division. Even Derek Lewis, man, Derek Lewis is going to hurt him probably. Stipe is going to be precise in there, man. He's going to be landing shots. We already saw that fight played out the first time, right? So I don't think that Alistair Overeem actually ever holds gold again, which I would love to see him do so. I'm a big fan of Overeem's, but just I don't know if I see it happening. But yeah, man. So I got my Miami Dolphins about to kick off. That's why I started the show a little bit earlier. You guys, let me know, man. Comment under the video or comment here. I'll try to see it too. But do you guys like the show better at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, or does it not make much of a difference to you guys? But I had to get the show in early today because the Miami Dolphins. I know it's not the Miami Dolphins actual hat, but it has the colors. We got some Miami Dolphins down over here. And I got a little bit of money on the Dolphins, actually. I'll give you guys a little play for you guys, but take it with consideration that maybe I'm a little biased. I am a diehard Dolphins fan, but I do see some value on the Dolphins right around plus 145, plus 150. I think I think the game is it's a close matchup. I think the game can go any way. The game is taking place over in Jacksonville, which is right down the road from where the Dolphins train and whatnot. It was a quick little drive, so it wasn't like they were flying and whatnot. And the Jaguars were supposed to be the worst team going into the season, and they've been looking decent, but got my Dolphins all day, man. So if you guys could, man, root for the Dolphins with your boy, and hopefully we get our first win of the season. Kamzat versus Stipe Miocic at 145. What do you mean by that, Jack? What do you mean at 145? Biggest weapon on the Dolphins is Devontae Parker or Mike Gesicki, one of the two, man. Parker's been a little bit beat up, but Gesicki's a nasty tight end. Expect another big game from Gesicki. Mike Gesicki, man, the hybrid tight end. He's more of a receiver, though. Kamzat versus Stipe Miocic at 145 prediction. Jack, you got to clarify. What do you mean by 145? Explain what you mean by that, Jack. First time catching you live, but I'm West Coast, so it don't matter to me. All right. Appreciate you, Daniel. I have Riddell and Caitlin as a 3-unit parlay. I have Dolphins 22 minutes before start. All right. Let's make some money, boys. And the fight companion, check me out, guys, just so you know. I'm going to do my best to have the fight companion going on Saturday. But I did tell you guys I was kind of having some family stuff going on over the past week or two, which it's going to be pretty much summing up here. But Saturday, I cannot guarantee that that I will be doing a fight companion. I'm going to do my best to do it. Obviously, you guys know I had a blast doing it this past Saturday. And moving forward, it will be every single major event. But I may have to attend to some family stuff. But that's not for sure. The fight companion still very much might go down. Probably will be home by the main card, so probably will go down. Just to give you guys a heads up on that. And Jack says just a joke. I'm assuming. Did you mean what in the Kamzat versus Stipe Miocic at 145 pounds? Because they ain't making that weight. I don't know what you mean by 145. I'll give you my prediction if Kamzat fought Stipe Miocic just straight up open weight, in the heavyweight division. If Kamzat just wasn't cutting weight, Stipe Miocic would roast him. Stipe would be way too big for him, and Stipe Miocic is the best heavyweight of all time. His striking's nasty. He could wrestle as well, and that wouldn't be a good night for Khamzat. Although I do feel Khamzat's a beast, and he could put up a fight against any human on planet Earth, but the baddest man on the planet is Stipe Miocic. Do not get that twisted. All right, guys, we've been rolling for an hour. I'm about to go sit my butt on the couch and get this Dolphins pregame going. I think they kick off in about 15 minutes. I appreciate all you guys as always. If you guys want, reach out to me. I got one play officially locked in already. It's been locked in for a couple of days now, and I'm going to have 1 to 2 more plays coming at you guys by the latest late tonight. By the time the game ends, I'm going to be sitting down looking over a little bit more tape. There's 2 or 3 fights I'm really narrowing in on. I'm not sure if I'm just going to pull the trigger on 1 or 2. I want to watch a little bit more tape, and the lines really aren't going to move much now from then. So I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to make the right decision there. All right. Yeah. A Miller, tell him, brother. I appreciate that, man. Hit the like button for your boy, man. There's 26 people in here. Let me see 26 likes all go right now, man. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to you, Cayman Ryder. Appreciate you as always. And on that note, there's only one thing to do. Signing out, the Teller.